What's good, everybody? Hopefully you guys are doing good. So we are back today for another video. Now before I begin, in case you guys are not following me on Twitter, what are you guys waiting for? You just go ahead, push here, the follow button somewhere down here. That's all you gotta do. You just follow. Every day I post something. If you have questions or a video request, this is the best place to put it. As you guys can see, I got all kinds of stuff that I put on here. When I go to the gym, I watch the Shark Tank. I give you guys my thoughts. Guess who my favorite shark is? Of course, it's everyone's favorite shark, Mr. Wonderful. Who's your favorite shark? Now also, as you guys can see here, I do post my dividend payments, so you guys can see the dividends, how I get them, how they work, all that good stuff, and then just various stock news throughout the day. 427 followers at the moment, growing slowly but surely, but yeah, go ahead and follow. Alright, let's continue with the video. Alright guys, so a lot has been going on. We are less than 2 months before the election hits. Almost 35-ish days, 39-ish, 40-ish days until election time, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of craziness, a lot of roller coasters going on. The second stimulus check, what proposals have been put forward? I know everyone's still waiting on those checks, and we still don't know when we're going to get those checks, but from what I'm reading, it looks like a check is going to have to get passed. Now, what they're going to do exactly, we're going to have to wait and see, but Congress so far has been unable to pass bug relief legislation, and with it potentially a second stimulus check for qualifying Americans. Now this was posted today, the 23rd, so this is fresh off the press. I'm giving you guys up-to-the-date information. A bipartisan group of U.S. lawmakers last week unveiled a new relief proposal, which includes a second and possibly even a third round of checks. Now before these guys talk about a third check, let's just get that second check out. And there's a lot of people who have not had their first checks yet. So if we're going the route with checks, you guys still get that first check out and that second check. Let's just work with that. Now the group is called Problem Solvers Caucus, a group comprising of 25 Democrats and 25 Republicans, said in a statement that their $1.5 trillion to $2 trillion plan for economic aid, known as the March 2 Command Ground, was an attempt to help break the gridlock on the latest bug relief package and encourage negotiators to get back on the table. Here's a framework, here's a roadmap, let's get this done. Now it goes over a few different ways they can go about doing this, so I'm not going to spend too much time with this because we kind of know what they're planning to do roughly. The payments included in the problem solver package would be for up to $1,200 with $500 extra credit for dependents also available. However, while the CARES Act limited eligibility for additional $500 to those under 17, the March to Common Ground seeks to include dependents of all age. Yeah, because people have to care for other family members. It makes sense that this is the route they're probably going to go down if something gets passed. In addition, it proposes a third batch of stimulus checks, an initiative that would automatically be triggered in March next year if the bug is not sufficiently under control. And in case you guys aren't aware, I have looked at the numbers for the bug, and the numbers, they're not pretty, guys. Let's just be honest. The numbers, about 200,000. I have another article here from CNN I will go over in a minute, but we have 200 people who have unfortunately lost their lives from the bug. I'm gonna leave it at that. I know some people, you got people on both sides saying what they want to say, but let's just go with what we're given. That's what we're given at the moment. No agreements on stimulus bill, but Republicans and Democrats both want checks. So they both want the checks because of course they want to get reelected and look good, and that's how they can do it. Now, the HEALS Act talks between Democrat leaders and White House chiefs over a bipartisan bill have been at an impasse since early August. And if you guys don't recall, they've been on vacation. All right, these guys are always on vacation when we need something that they're saying they're gonna do. They just go on vacation, and you can't really replace them because they got okay. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it be at that. But yeah, we're still kind of waiting to see what these guys are gonna do. HEROES Act and HEALS Act, Democrats and Republicans major stimulus check proposals. The HEALS Act would be a $1,200 check will be sent to individuals who earn less than $75,000 a year, while joint tax filers on under $150K would receive $2,400. HEROES Act, CAAF, the Bug Assistance for American Families Act. And like I said, there's just different proposals for how they're going to give a potential next stimulus check, and I guess they're saying that they're talking about a third one, but it's going to be very, very interesting because also articles that I've been reading have said maybe, just maybe, imagine this, guys. For 1 second, imagine this. Let's say nothing happens, right? We don't get a second check, but Biden wins. Biden wins the election, and then once Biden wins, he passes another check under him. Now that would really help his popularity, and going forward he would have a more favorable view. So it's possible that Democrats are going with that option as well, banking on a Biden win and then maybe passing a check that's more favorable at that point. It's possible. Let's continue on here. Now, something else that's interesting, guys. The markets have been down major. I'm going to go over that in a minute as well. But the UK is potentially headed for a second national lockdown. The new bug rules from Boris Johnson's update. The Prime Minister introduced new restrictions as he addressed the nation on Tuesday night. Again, this is fresh off the press. And this article, let me see here. Okay, it wasn't this one. There was another article that gave more details, but basically they have potentially another shutdown coming. UK total people who have died from this have been 409,000 people, so a lot of people have been deceased. And the US is about 200,000, so 42,000, 200,000. Obviously the US has a bigger population as well, but that's something that was potentially proposed because numbers are going up. This is from the Washington Post. Nearly 9 million people didn't get checks. A GAO report asks why the IRS isn't doing more to help. Millions at risk of not getting their money, the report warns. So yeah, these guys are trying to talk about a second or third check, but that first check is still something people are waiting for. And articles like these, this is from the Washington Post, do your own research, but I always look at the sidebar too to see kind of what's going on at the moment, especially in the business world. Wells Fargo CEO apologized after blaming shortage of black talent for bank's lack of diversity. Wells Fargo is getting hit pretty hard. Their stock has been getting rocked prior, and negative publicity does not help at the moment. Let's continue. Now, what we have here is many may be entitled to 500 payment for each dependent child, things that we already kind of know. Election looming. It is unlikely that our deeply polarized Congress will agree on a second stimulus check anytime soon, so this means every effort should be made to get the first payments to eligible Americans who never receive their payments, many of whom are struggling to make ends meet during the bug. So yeah, the IRS set short deadlines for parents to request the missing stimulus money. The agency reversed itself because of mounting criticism. A new deadline for this group of federal beneficiaries to use the non-filers tool was set for September 30th. The IRS announced it's mailing letters to estimated 9 million Americans who have not gone online to determine whether they're eligible for a second payment. The agency recently published a state-by-state breakdown of the mailing. So this is going to vary by state, guys. If you were supposed to get a check and you did not, the best thing to do is that IRS portal that they mentioned here on the Washington Post. You can go to that website, and that's the best way you're going to see if you might be able to get something. irs.gov, non-filers tool. And I know a lot of people who use it get my payment. Sometimes you have to update your electronic payment. I know a lot of people have physical mail-in. So once you update that, usually if you're eligible, you should be good. Let's continue on here. Second check. Trump Democrats support another IRS payment, but will it actually happen? All right. So this is from Texas Democrat Al Harris. The administration does support another stimulus payment. And also Mnuchin said that during a congressional testimony, the economic impact payments must be made because the rent must be paid. Yeah, a lot of people are struggling to pay their rent, especially with housing prices increasing. Just one of the many issues that people are trying to figure out moving forwards. Democrats have condemned the GOP for failing to present sufficient funding to tackle the pandemic, and Republicans have accused Democrats of using the bug to advance their political agenda. So everybody is pointing fingers at each other and trying to make themselves look better before the election, guys. Like I said, it will be a roller coaster. You must be prepared for all this stuff. Don't panic. Just do what you're doing. Do your homework. Stay up to date and just plan accordingly with whatever is going on at the moment. Now it's from CNN Health. More than 20 states report an uptick in new bug cases after U.S. tops 200,000 deceased. Like I said, guys, that is a crazy number, and the numbers have been going up. It doesn't tell us which states, but as of Wednesday morning, 7 states report a decline. So 7 states have reported a decline. Even after all those deceased and 9 million confirmed cases, more than 9% of Americans remain susceptible to the bug, said Robert Redfield, director of the U.S. Centers for Control and Disease Prevention. Also, today, Dr. Fauci testified during a U.S. Senate hearing on the bug in December. The other thing is that they could end up They could wind up when you have inflammation. They could have scarring that could lead to arrhythmias later on, or that could lead to cardiomyopathies, he explained. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, guys, so please forgive my pronunciations. I think we need to be careful and just watch what happens, because one of the possibilities that could develop is A, it could clear up, and B, they have a problem for the rest of their lives, Fauci said. Oh, and they have no problem, my bad. Very important. He said it just clears up and you got no problem, so you're good. And then you got some people who are affected and they have permanent lung issues. So like I said, guys, it is kind of hard to say exactly what's going on, but we just know there's a lot going on. Kentucky and Wisconsin report spikes of cases. Schools, students, some schools I know reopened, and like I said, it's just a crazy time we live in, guys, and it's gonna for sure go into 2021 at least for half of the year. That's just my prediction. All right, let's pause the video here so we don't get hit with a copyright strike. Okay. This is also from the Washington Post. The CDC director disappointed at offensive comments that agency is part of the deep state. Now, here are some significant developments. The bug has caused more than 200,000 people to be deceased, a number that seemed inconceivable in March, while Trump said that keeping nations deceased below 200,000 would constitute a very good job by his administration. So I guess based off of what Trump's saying, he has not done a good job, just based off of his own statements. The first bug vaccine that aims to protect people with a single shot has entered the final stage of testing in the U.S. in an international trial that will recruit up to 60,000 participants. The largest U.S. genetic study of the virus conducted in Houston shows one viral strain outdistancing all of its competitors and many potentially important mutations. America reopened schools have not so far seemed to produce the explosive bug that many people had expected. And if you guys are fans of Wonder Woman, they have pushed the film back from October 2nd to Christmas Day. So films are being pushed back, but that's the least of our concerns. The French government accused a new set of restrictions. See, I'm telling you guys, international restrictions are coming too. To stop the spiraling bug resurgence it has struggled to contain. Like I said, guys, I know some countries are having restrictions and shutting things down. It could very well happen to the States, guys. What do you think? It's not going to happen again? It happened one time. It could happen. I don't think the economy could personally handle it because the economy got destroyed in March and April, but we'll leave it at that. U.S. surpasses 200,000, so we can confirm that we have over 200,000 people who have lost their lives because of the bug. All right, so Dr. Fauci here as well. Fauci and Redfield say they expect the bug vaccine to be widely available by spring. Now, the other issue that comes up, Johnson & Johnson starts trial of one-dose bug vaccine, but the issue is, are vaccines going to be optional? Are they going to be mandatory? Is the workplace going to require you to get a vaccine before going to work? A lot of questions. We got to wait and see. I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Over 90% of Americans are still susceptible to the bug, CDC boss says. Like I said, guys, we are in for a bumpy ride, and we're going to have to just wait and see. There's not a whole lot of certainty at the moment. We just know a lot of people are getting harmed by this thing, and there are more than 31 million cases worldwide and almost 1 million deceased. That's insane, guys. That's an insane number. And like I said, I know the way to get these numbers. You have to ask yourself, did the bug cause it, or did they have underlying issues they don't really go over? I know there's, like I said, guys, I've done plenty of research, many hours, and I understand both sides to the argument, and there is a lot of data that you don't really know what to trust. But I think the fact is, people are being affected, people are losing their lives, unfortunately, and if it's their condition or if it's the bug, we don't know for sure. I know the way to get the numbers is it varies, but the fact is people are losing lives. Now, I'm going to switch gears a little bit. The markets, as you guys can see, the S&P 500 was down quite a bit today, 2.37%, and I am recording in the evening, so the markets are officially closed. Don't really expect too much more movement at this point, and we are at 3,236. We were at that point, let me tell you guys, in the middle of July. So we kind of made a good recovery. We dipped a little bit, and we are continuing on a correction at the moment. Let's see if we continue tomorrow or if it's going to be back in the green. I'm thinking we're going to be probably in a little bit of a correction territory for a while. Tech stocks are mainly getting hit right now. And same thing, the Dow got hit almost 2%, 500-point drop in a day. So we are definitely in correction territory. Now, this is from Markets Insider. Like I said, these tools are free, guys. Everything I'm giving you guys is for free. I'm not charging. These websites don't charge you. You can, guys, I'm doing the research so you don't have to. But this is really helpful for Markets Insider. It tells you guys the top winners, the Dow Jones, S&P 500. I know I've showed you guys this multiple times, but however, I'm also aware that there are new folks who don't know about this. But you just go type it in, Business Insider, and you can see your top gainers from the Dow. Nike just crushed it today, up to almost 9%. Good for Nike. And our top losers, Intel, Dow, Honeywell, Home Depot, a lot of quality companies. Some of these I own, but yeah, Boeing getting destroyed. One of my worst investments, guys. Boeing is still getting destroyed. But sometimes that's part of the game. You lose some, you win some. Now, Dow tumbles 525 points as Fed officials call for more stimulus from Congress. Like I said, guys, you can only prop up the markets for so long. I know the Fed's pumping a ton of money into it, but at some point the money is going to run out, and at some point they're not going to be pumping up as much, and we're going to hit levels that we once were at before. Gold prices fell about 2%, and oil prices were also mixed. Okay, stock market industry rose in the early trading hours as investors sized up better than expected earnings from Nike. So Nike saved the stock today, I guess. And also the potential of a vaccine from the bug. Alright, this is the last thing I have for you guys today. Dow Jones closes 525 points lower than S&P. 500 downstairs for the first time correction since March, as the market has hit session low. Everything was down today, guys. So this another article, this from Market Watch. This has a lot of good information as well. Dow is down nearly 500 points. Tesla still a buy as uptrend remains intact. Gold is at historical highs. Stock of tiny SPI Energy stock skyrockets 3,000%. Like I said, guys, always in the sidebar you can find some good information. I might just click on Tesla to read more about Tesla. I don't want to really add much more to Tesla at this point. I'm good with where I'm at. Very, very small position at the moment. Alright, guys, I think I'm good for now. You guys hopefully have a better idea of what's going on. Obviously, the stimulus checks, don't rely on them. I know it's difficult times, but you got to find a way to make your payments, but don't rely on these checks to make your payments for you, because it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. In the markets, keep an eye on it. If there's a stock you're looking at, you've done your research and you talk to an expert in, now's a good time to buy potentially in the upcoming days or weeks. October historically has been a month that has the market down. I'll have a video on that, and I'll be explaining the October trend that we've seen in the past. Obviously, past trends do not necessarily indicate the future, but it's something good to keep in mind. Alright, guys, that's going to be the end of the video. As always, if you're not subscribed, don't subscribe. And if you like the video, don't forget to give it a like. Until next time, peace.